What's up, everybody? No Neck Rothstein here, famed Rothstein. Um, usually I tell you, if you have a gambling problem, please do not listen to the show. Please do not watch, but there's no sports, so you can watch this one, all right? We'll probably do something with the NFL draft because, from what I understand, it's still going on, but, the whole country is kind of shut down or at least slowed down from this COVID-19 pandemic. State of Ohio has, basically been shut down for 2 weeks. That's where I'm at. The Republic of Cincinnati, Ohio, basically been shut down for 2 weeks. So I've been watching a lot of Netflix. And one thing that I watched on Netflix, I've watched it a million times, probably. Well, not a million, obviously, but I've probably watched it a good 10 times all the way through each time. And that is that TV show, the miniseries, The People versus O.J. Simpson. I watched it in its first run back in 2016. And I watch it on Netflix, pretty much anytime it comes up. I love it. It's a wonderful show that, represents a different time period in my life. I was 18. Well, I just graduated from high school, June 4th. 1994, turned 18 in July, and then so when the verdict came out in October of 95, I was 19, so I'm 17 to 19 years old when all this is going on. And I remember it, I'm not going to say vividly, but I remember a good deal of it. And right now what I'm going to talk about is why O.J. Simpson actually got off. You could say, all right, first of all, let's talk about the jury. Let's just get that out the way. Wasn't the strongest jury, as you can see from other stuff. The OJ Made in America, the ESPN 30 for 30. The jury wasn't necessarily the strongest people. They were probably kind of leaning toward OJ anyway. It was just after the riots, you had a lot of black people on the jury that were a little fed up with, because let's be honest, black people, if you're not willing to admit this, just turn off this show right now. Turn off my YouTube channel right now. If you're not willing to admit this, I don't know where the hell you've been. Black people in the United States of America have at its best, a unique relationship. All right? Can we admit that? And, so that jury was, what was it, 10 black people, 2 white people? They were, some of them were probably already going, many of them were probably going to vote for not guilty no matter what. Okay, let's just keep it a buck. If you're not willing to admit that, they were probably going to vote not guilty no matter what. All right? And so let's just get that out the way. That's the jury, okay? It wasn't the strongest jury. It wasn't the most objective jury. But, many juries aren't. Marsha Clark, they had the opportunity to try the case in Santa Monica. I don't know where that is in relation to Simi Valley where the Rodney King stuff happened. The black motorist who got his ass beat by the cops like 2-3 years before the OJ stuff happened. Riots out in L.A., Reginald Denny got fucked up, pulled out of a truck, hit with a brick. They beat his ass. But they didn't. And that's part of the reason why they lost. I'm not going to, I read a few books about lawyers and legal stuff. I had some interest in it, just never really went through with it, back when I was, younger. I guess I could still do it. Because I do still have some interest in becoming an attorney, but the game's kind of changed since that OJ trial. They be putting clamps on lawyers, and a lot of these lawyers that I've ran into are kind of punks, scared, to kind of even challenge like Cochran and the Dream Team did. But that's what I was going to say. Marsha Clark and Chris Darden. Well, let's talk about them individually first, okay? First of all, both of these people have chips on their shoulders. Marsha Clark for being a woman, Chris Darden for being black. Let's just call it what it is. These two both had a chip on their shoulder. Marsha Clark, mad arrogant. Well, based on the People versus O.J. Simpson, she came off as mad arrogant. Told the one lawyer, you know how bad I wanted this case. Things like that. Just, and having been in front of, criminal judges before, several times. She seemed like one of those evil white ladies who love putting Negroes in jail. Not saying she was a racist like that, but how they talk about how she's a strong woman prosecutor. That means it just means she likes to talk shit in court, especially when she got a Negro defendant. And she's I don't know, but she was arrogant. Chris Darden, he was in over his head. He wasn't ready for nothing like that, and he had a complex about it. Johnny Cochran punking him, sunning him at every turn. Even Carl Douglas, Johnny's little man on the Dream Team, he's even kind of punking him a little bit, teasing him in court. You see the famous scene from the People versus O.J. Simpson where they're talking about the N-word, the use of the N-word. He's saying, "Oh, you should see." I mean, even the way Chris Darden is behaving in the real trial, discussing that N-word thing that became a famous scene in the TV show. Just the way I'm gonna show them how he had that he's got that Jamil Hill, these snooty blacks, these uppity blacks, these boule type of blacks that are kind of like, let me show them, Bomani Jones type Negroes, I'm gonna show you how Black America really is. They got that type of mentality. Are you gonna be with the brothers or are you gonna be with the white man? That type of that was some sucker shit to say. And that's why when Johnny Cochran addressed it on the show, when he walked away from the podium, he looked down at Darden and said, "Nigga, please." Basically like, man, who you think you playing with? Who you think you playing with out here? You know what I'm saying? And Carl Douglas, he himself kind of, well, not kind of, he said that on the OJ 30 for 30. He said that the OJ Made in America, he has said this numerous times, including on the Made in America 30 for 30, that, yeah, Johnny Cochran looked at Darden and said, "Nigga, please," after that. And rest in peace to Johnny Cochran, everybody who has passed on, especially the victims, Ron Lyle Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. Several people have passed on since this, but yeah, definitely rest in peace to everybody. Robert Kardashian, as you all know, is the father of Kim and Khloe and Robert Kardashian. I think there's another daughter that is his. The rest are all Bruce Jenner's kids. But yeah, I mean, Darden, you can see they especially Darden, he wore his emotions on his sleeves. I've never seen a lawyer like that behave like he does. I mean, they were just toying with him. The Dream Team, Cochran and everybody. I mean, they made him do Marsha told him, don't do the damn glove demonstration. F. Lee Bailey, same thing he said on the show. He supposedly said in real life to the guy, "You've got the balls of a stud field mouse. If you don't do the glove demonstration, we will." Hyped him up. They played him. Things like that. But here's why they lost, if you ask me. Marsha and Chris were not ready, not prepared to deal with a aggressive lawyer who was hell-bent on getting their client off. The Dream Team shouts to them. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I'd be speaking out of school if I was saying, Johnny and them were being unethical, Judge Ito was being unethical, letting too much go on. I don't know that. I can't say that, but based on what I saw on TV, on the during the real trial and the TV show, 20-something years later, listen, y'all wasn't ready, Marsha and Darden. I mean, because let's be honest, there's the police too. Was OJ guilty or not? I don't know. It's not my place to say all that evidence against him. He looked guilty as hell, but he could have been framed. But Marcia Clark and Chris Darden, along with the LAPD, were not ready for that type of defense. You could tell that the LAPD, they used to collecting shit sloppily and not having nobody to challenge it. They used to just doing things their way. No matter how they're trained, they're doing shit their way, doing shit sloppily. Just a very putrid effort by the collection specialist. Remember from the real trial, the Scheck, the Barry Scheck, who later founded the Innocence Project. He's out there like, what do you think about that? Going at the Dennis Fung guy from the prosecution. Marsha and Chris, they're used to dealing with lawyers, public defenders, or just not even lawyers, just people with a law degree. There's a difference between a lawyer and a person with a law degree representing you. There's a huge difference. Listen to that again. There's a difference between a lawyer, an advocate, and someone with a law degree representing you. Marcia and Darden are used to dealing with people who are lawyers who are people with law degrees representing the defendant. They weren't ready for real lawyers and advocates. They weren't prepared for that type of stuff. That Cochran and them were putting on them. Same thing with the LAPD. They're not used to having to deal with a real lawyer. And then the Furman angle, let's be honest. Those tapes, he pretty much said in those tapes what could have happened in this trial, I think he said something about, is that framing someone? No, it's putting a criminal in jail, on the tapes. You lied on the stand. And then when it comes back, you say, they ask you, like, did you frame any evidence? Did you manufacture any evidence? He says, I want to invoke my Fifth Amendment rights. That's like the one guy said, I forget which detective it was, but it was the bald detective that was played by Chris Bauer, the guy who played, he played the dock worker union leader in The Wire, season 2. But it's like he said, hey, if you didn't do it, Philip Lang, that's his name. He said, if you didn't do it, you say that. You don't take no Fifth Amendment on that. But all that evidence. See, I did find this kind of weird that they notified O.J. Simpson as the next of kin, and they're not divorced anymore, or they're not married anymore. They're divorced. They've been divorced for a couple, 3 years, on the word that Mark Furman knew that they were married. He came up and investigated the domestic violence. But yeah, trust me, from dealing with lawyers myself, representing me in criminal cases, I'm a gambler. I'm going to have a criminal case, nothing serious. I ain't never, just some misdemeanor goofy shit. But yeah, fucking, Clark and Darden were used to dealing with public defenders who want to make deals because their client just wants to go home as soon as possible. Double murder ain't going to be no deal. You're going to face life. The only deal would be to keep you out of the chair. OJ had the money to bring all that up. What's his pension, like $23,000 a month? I don't know what his monthly bills were or whatnot, but hell, $23,000 a month, you can put a good defense up, still put something on your books for the commissary, and still take care of your home business, I'd imagine. And that's pretty much what happened there. They wasn't ready for that. And that's why he got off. It has nothing to do with, he was a celebrity, or the Judge Ito didn't have control of his courtroom. No, Marcia Clark, you wasn't ready for this. You used to dealing with bum lawyers, C-plus lawyers. I don't want to call them bums because the education track to become a lawyer is too strenuous to call anyone possessing a law degree a bum. But yes, you were used to dealing with C-plus lawyers. These were all A-plus lawyers, maybe an A-. here and there. But yeah, these guys they was coming to play. They came to play ball. You didn't. You didn't. You guys didn't because you just weren't prepared. I mean, I'm sure you did all your stuff, your witnesses, prepping them and things like that, your research and whatnot. Yeah, you did all that. But when I say you weren't prepared, you had never experienced anything like that in a courtroom. And that's all. We could talk all the dramatics all we want to. It's so apparent that you had never seen nothing like that. It's like going from AA baseball to the majors, and the first pitcher you face is fucking Clayton Kershaw in his prime, Roger Clemens in his prime, Nolan Ryan in his prime. You wasn't ready for that. No. So like I said, rest in peace to everyone from the trial who had already passed on. But yeah, I noticed, it's just quarantine. There's nothing to do but watch TV and whatnot. So, like I said, I'm watching that, and every time I watch it, I realize Marcia Clark, Chris Darden were outclassed. The police wasn't ready for people to call out their bullshit. They used to doing sloppy stuff because they figured nobody's going to challenge it in court. Nobody's got the money to hire their investigators to do that. Shit, not this one. Caught you napping. And, like I said, the jury, they were probably leaning toward OJ anyway. So this was just more of a perfect storm. The arrogance to take that trial downtown to Los Angeles when you could have tried it out where OJ live at. Which, truly at that time, I don't know what he's doing now. Seems to be doing the same thing. I love his Twitter. His Twitter videos are the bomb. OJ Simpson, let's be honest. But, his peers at the time were rich white guys that liked to golf. But y'all were arrogant, took it downtown. Or you just didn't want or you were too scared of a riot. So either way it goes, y'all just weren't ready. The LA prosecutor's office was just not ready. They didn't know what they was getting into. They thought they did, but they didn't. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got, yo. I think I'm just gonna keep it on YouTube until sports come back. I'm not gonna really do any more podcasts until we're able to wager on sports again. So, check me out once a week, maybe twice a week on YouTube, just as I feel like ranting on something. But yeah, I mean, it like I said, it was just a remarkable time in my life. Very fun time. I remember me and my friends the night it happened, the night of the Bronco chase, rather. I'm still 17, at the time. We go out and we go up to a very popular spot in Cincinnati. We talking shit. Free the Jews, free the Jews. Obviously I wouldn't do that now as a grown man with morals, but do I feel like a guilty man got away with murder? I can't say that because of Furman. I can't say that. And I just saw a video where they mentioned that, where Robert Shapiro mentioned that O.J. Simpson's son, Jason, would have some of those same markers. And that's been one of the theories, that it was actually Jason that did it and O.J. was just covering for him. I don't know about any of that. I'm not getting into all that, I'm not getting into all that. All right? I'm just saying that, and I don't like how the defense lawyers were acting like they, got a guilty man off, but I guess they would know better. That's how they feel. That's how they feel. But that was mainly all the, I think that was Shapiro, even Shaq a little bit, F. Lee Bailey. I just don't, I don't know. I don't really like this, I don't really like that attitude by them after all that. But yeah, OJ, the reason why he got off is simply because Marcia Clark, Chris Darden, this is the main reason. They had never seen anything like that was coming at them. They were not used to having their techniques questioned. Probably were not used to a trial going that long. They probably used to a week-long trial, 2 weeks, cut a deal, things like that. They wasn't ready for a year-long trial. Year and some change. They wasn't. They shit. They wasn't ready for that. And the jury wasn't either. That's why they wanted to go home. Like, man, y'all told us we'd be home in 6 months. You know, things like that. So it was just the perfect storm, is why he got out. Why he beat the rap. All right. But yeah, that's all I got, folks. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe button real quick. You know, when the podcast does come back out, I'm not even gonna say it on here. I'll let you know where it is. You know, those of you who know, you know how to find it on Anchor and Spotify and whatnot. Fame Rothstein. It's all the same. All right. But until then, I will holler at you on the podcast when sports come back and we're able to invest in them. And as you know, I'll just keep doing these YouTubes, you know, periodically, spontaneously. So that's why you need to like and subscribe so you know when I drop a video, all right? But I'll holler at you. Everybody be safe. Peace.